Hey guys, it's your boy MKS here, back with another video. Obviously, this is part two of the video I made technically early in the morning before I went to sleep last night, kind of. So I hope people from the P.I.F get to watch this and other people perhaps as well and enjoy it. And hopefully you'll find my ideas interesting. And yeah, I can't think of much else to say in the intro, but hope everyone's well. I forgot to say, I think I already did say that, but sorry for forgetting or losing my focus. Anyway, hope everyone's well wherever you are, and thanks for any support of my channel, and please leave your comments if you like in the comment section below if you wish to do so. And I appreciate your likes and sharing of the video and general support. Anyway, here goes. So as I say, this will continue on from part one, so please check that out if you haven't already done so. It should be in the list of my videos I've covered recently, I think. Obviously, all being well, I hope it is anyway. And so yeah, please check that out and look out for part three when hopefully I get around to making it, all being well. Today is the 23rd, so it's like I have these sort of symbols and patterns which I've talked before about in my videos, which in which certain numbers remind me of certain things, and most things I try and do are to do with philanthropy or charity. But especially today, as it's the 23rd, I think of like fundraising and ideas and things like that. So I think it'd be great, as I saw the P.I.F recently invested in Newcastle United Football Club. I think it'd be great if they. I was thinking, like, as a fan of Italian football, would I love the P.I.F to invest in Inter Milan, as they were apparently thinking of doing, or considering at least, thinking of doing. Sorry. Or would I, for if they invested in like something like my friend's school, Rare Gem in Kenya? And I was wondering, I really would love them to invest, you guys to invest in both, if you get to watch this video. But anyway, I suppose in terms of football nowadays, I think you need to invest like football clubs nowadays, because of the investment in, especially at least at top level, need like billions just to compete, especially in the Premier League. Or any teams that want to compete in Europe, which I hope for Italian teams to do. But anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling and crack on with my video. So with my list. So here goes. So number 11, I would love for there to be more Arab unity, like unity between obviously different Arab countries. So I'd love for the P.I.F of Saudi Arabia to invest, to like somehow, I don't know if the word is, I don't know if the term is bury the hatchet or something like that, but basically to bury their differences, or put aside their differences with other Arab nations, and like get along as well as possible with Qatar, UAE, and others. And as part of this, like invest in Italian football and Celtic and other things together as well as a team, and like support each other, and support people from Iraq as well, which were colonized, if you like. I would see it as like being colonized, or at least invaded, or whatever, which to me is like the same thing. But anyway, yeah, so I'd love to see more Arabian unity and Asian and African unity as well, and like also those to invest in Italian football and improve relations between Italians and Arabs, Asians and Africans, and also for those to invest in Celtic as well. Number 12, again, as I mentioned in the intro briefly, I would love for the P.I.F and possibly and all other possible investors to like support Rare Gem School Kenya, or Dyslexia Organisation Kenya generally, to raise awareness, as I said in part one, of dyslexia and related conditions like ADHD and autism, and the strengths connected with those, and investing in people with those, with our, as a dyslexic myself, with our sort of thinking styles and how we think differently, and how that sometimes has an advantage, because something that's rare, especially if it's a talent or something that's valuable, is a really good thing, and or can be a really valuable thing, and obviously more valuable because it's rare. And as I mentioned, again in part one, I know that dyslexic people have weaknesses, but I think we also have strengths. And again, the fact they're rare, I think in some ways makes them even better than academic strengths. So even though we struggle with things like academia and things like that, and following instructions and focusing on remembering things like that, we do have strengths in other areas, which I think would be great to invest in, again, especially in developing countries and in Arab countries themselves, such as Saudi Arabia, and and again, especially in developing countries, and seeing what I'd love to see what dyslexics could do for Italian football and for Celtic as well. But yeah, but I'd love to see the P.I.F to invest, like, for them, it probably, for you guys, if you watch it, again, it probably wouldn't make a massive difference if you invested like £1 million or something like that in Rare Gem or Dyslexia Organisation Kenya, to like sort of give them sports fields, tech training opportunities centers, like, or different rooms that they can go to, and different tech opportunities. I love as many people in Africa as possible generally to have PCs, laptops, mobile phones, and things they can use to improve their technology and to train and things like that. So yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Number 13, again, as a bias, going back to my point, a bit of a biased one of me, as I say, one from me, sorry. I'd love for, I'd say, the P.I.F and others to invest in different Italian clubs. And I love all Italian clubs, Atalanta, Roma, Fiorentina, Sampdoria, Parma, and a lot of them to have Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan, or basically all Italian clubs, even possibly Serie B sides or Serie C sides, how we pronounce it. And I think they call it Serie C in Italy. But anyway, yeah, so even lower levels and like grassroots, as well as the national team, to have like funding for like youth facilities, and in the case of Serie A clubs to buy players overseas as well, but also to like integrate immigrants into the football teams and things like improve relations between immigrants and Italians, so it benefit Italian football as much as possible. Again, that's a bit of a biased idea of mine. Number 14, I'd love for so the P.I.F and other investors again to invest in solving problems like global warming or climate change or illnesses and diseases and things like that. Number 15, also to invest in or support dyslexics or dyslexic organizations and dyslexia-friendly schools in Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and across Asia, especially Singapore, and again across Africa, like Kenya, Nigeria, Cameroon, and places like that, to raise awareness of, as again, dyslexia and related conditions or neurodiversity. Again, maybe the P.I.F could learn about those conditions as well, and learn about like Made by Dyslexia, the Dyslexic Advantage, the Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity, and many organizations like that which talk about the positive sides and strengths of dyslexia. So I think that would be pretty cool. Number 16, again, yeah, I think that connecting those different groups together, like dyslexia organizations across Africa, Ireland, and Asia, like to help them to connect with each other and network with each other, and like see what technology they can have that can help them and benefit them in the longer term, and see what dyslexics and dyspraxics and people with ADHD and autism and other related conditions, learning disabilities, can achieve, as well as disabilities generally, like physical and mental disabilities, even what we can achieve. I have learning and mental disabilities, but not physical disabilities, thankfully. But what we can achieve, including, as I say, physically disabled people, if invested in and supported and encouraged. Again, I'd love to see the P.I.F and other organisations possibly even work together to see what disabled people can achieve and what are the best ways to support such people and what strengths that we have, or they have in the case of physically disabled people, to utilise those strengths. I hope that makes sense. Number 17, again, looking at ways to tackle poverty around the world and to invest in, as I say, things like Rare Gem. As I say, with football, I imagine to really help a football team compete, you probably have to invest like hundreds of millions, maybe even billions nowadays, because especially to compete at the top level. But for investing in schools for people with dyslexia, it probably only costs, you could probably do it with a few thousand at least, but I imagine part of me would think it'd be quite amazing for Rare Gem and other schools to have like millions of pounds invested into like sports fields, again, tech training suites or whatever they're called, like rooms that people can go to learn about technology, to play sports, having their own sports fields, sports halls, both indoor and outdoor, so like fields and halls as well, to train and also to connect those, as I say, dyslexia-friendly schools in developing countries or colonized countries to work together. And maybe even have cultural exchanges in the future, like even people to learn about dyslexia in Saudi Arabia, and also to and other Arab countries and across Asia and Africa, and maybe even to like visit each other's countries and benefit each other's countries generally. Again, I think dyslexic people have good strengths like an imagination and creativity, which could benefit those countries, including Saudi Arabia. So that would be hopefully an incentive, as well as the PR and things like that, and maybe even other, so basically PR, I imagine, or even tax incentives perhaps, or things like that. Number 18, again, making the world a better place. I think trying to invest in things that will solve problems, tackle illnesses and diseases, make traveling safer and easier, and all sorts of things like that. 19, as I mentioned in part one, I would love for the P.I.F and other investors to invest in helping people across Africa, especially, and Indigenous Australasians to get training, to get more Black people in technology again, especially across Africa and Indigenous Australasia, um, or people of colour generally, especially in those places, to have opportunities to train and develop their tech skills. And number 20, also to train in STEM generally, science, tech, engineering, and maths. So hope this video was at least a little bit interesting and made some sense. And I'd love to have like some feedback. Hopefully it won't be too negative. Hopefully it'll be positive, in fact. And I'm out. Peace out.